So let us go through filters first. Filter is a circuit that is capable of passing certain band of frequencies through it while suppressing the undesired frequencies. So that means a filter it can separate the desired signals from the undesired signals, and it can block the interfering signals. Also, it can enhance speech and video signals. So almost all communication systems we use filters, and in the field of electronics, these filters they find many practical applications. For example, it is used in radio communication, DC power supplies, audio electronics, and also they are used in minimizing aliasing, etc. So these are some of the applications of the filters. Filters can be built by using both passive and active components. It can be built from passive RNC components. RNC stands for resistor, capacitor, and inductors. Such type of filters we call it as a passive filter. Generally, passive filters are used above 1 megahertz, and they don't have a power gain, and also relatively it is difficult to tune them. Whereas active filters are built from op-amps, operational amplifiers. And also along with that, we need a few passive components like resistors and capacitors. And there are 4 different types of filters: low pass filter, high pass filter, band pass filter, and band rejection filter. And for our lab syllabus, we have only low pass filter and a high pass filter, so we'll just concentrate on those 2 experiments. Okay, so let us start with the first one, that is to design a first order active low pass Butterworth filter. So we'll consider low pass filter first. We'll conduct experiment on low pass filter. So a low pass filter, again as the name suggests, a low pass filter allows only low frequency components. It allows only low frequency components up to certain breakpoint, and it suppresses the high frequency components. Okay, so a low pass filter means it allows low frequency components up to certain breakpoint, that is nothing but upper cutoff frequency, and while suppressing the high frequency components. And the range of frequencies from 0 to upper cutoff frequency, this we call it as a pass band, and the range of frequency above the beyond the cutoff frequency is called as a stop band. Okay, so here we have the first experiment to design a first order active low pass Butterworth filter, and this is the circuit diagram of a first order active low pass Butterworth filter. And for a first order low pass filter means it consists of a single RC network, this RNC combination. For a first order low pass filter, we have single RC network, and the active component we have as operational amplifier. Okay, so input, we know that operational amplifier is a 8-pin IC, and we have applied input at pin number 3 through this RC network, and we have a negative feedback, that is from pin number 6. This is our output pin. From pin number 6 we have connected it to, again it is shorted to pin number 2 of the op-amp, operational amplifier. RF is nothing but a feedback network, and this is R1 input resistor. And op-amp needs two power supplies, that is dual power supply. At pin number 7 we are applying plus VCC, and at pin number 4 we have minus VEA. So it requires 2 power supplies, and at pin number 6 we are going to tap the output. So output is taken from pin number 6. So this is about the circuit explanation, and the input we are going to apply 2 volts peak to peak 1 kilohertz. Initially we are going to apply as input, and about the frequency response. This figure, it shows This plot shows the frequency response of a low pass filter. We have taken the frequency along the x-axis and gain along the y-axis. Now in this frequency response, here f is nothing but an input signal frequency. F is nothing but an input signal frequency, whereas fh is the upper cutoff frequency. And when the input signal frequency is less than the upper cutoff frequency, then we can see gain is approximately it is equal to A. So gain is maximum, and when the input signal frequency is equal to cutoff frequency at this point, cutoff frequency, then our gain is approximately it is equal to 0.707 times A. Then when the input signal frequency is greater than upper cutoff frequency, means gain is less than this 0.707 times A. So as you can observe here, 0 to this cutoff frequency, our gain is constant, and after that it is decreasing. So beyond this cutoff frequency, our gain is decreasing at a rate of minus 20 dB per decade, which is nothing but a roll of rate. Okay, so now next we'll move on to the design part. Coming to the design part, first step is nothing but we need to choose the value of upper cutoff frequency fh, and then select the capacitor value as less than or equal to 1 microfarad. Then next, once we get to know about this fh and capacitor value, then we can find out the R value using the equation, upper cutoff frequency equation, fh is equal to 1 by 2 by RC. And then finally select the values of this input resistor R1 and the feedback resistor RF. Depending on the passband gain, A is equal to 1 plus RF by R1. So how do we get this one? This is nothing but we have a op-amp connected in a non-inverting configuration. So the op-amp is connected in a non-inverting mode, and the gain of the circuit is given by 1 plus RF by R1. So this feedback resistor along with the R1, this determines the gain of the filter. That means gain of the filter is determined by A is equal to the gain of the filter is determined by RF and R1. And this section, RC section, it determines the upper cutoff frequency of the filter. And okay, so let us consider upper cutoff frequency. For our experiment, we have taken upper cutoff frequency fh is equal to 2 kHz and passband gain as 2. And also let us assume this capacitor values C is equal to 0.01 microfarad. With this and using this equation, upper cutoff frequency equation fh, we can find out the R value, and we have got it as 7.97 kilo ohms. And so here instead of 7.97, we can use the standard value 6.8 kilo ohms. And again we have a passband gain as A is equal to 2. With this, we can find out the RF and R1 value. So RF and R1 value is equal to 10 kilo ohms. And the components required. What are the components required? As per this circuit, we need one operational amplifier. So we can use IC741 or MUI741 or LM741. So we need one IC, and then we need a dual power supply. To power up the operational amplifier, we need a op-amp power supply. So we need one op-amp power supply. Then also we need resistors and capacitors. Resistors are nothing but these resistors, RF, R1, and this R1 and C. Resistors and capacitors. Already we have mentioned the values also. Okay, so this is about the design part. Okay. Now let us move on to the conduction part. The circuit connections are made as per the circuit diagram on this string board, and we need a function generator or a signal generator to apply the input signal to the circuit. Input voltage of 2 volts peak to peak 1 kilohertz has been applied. It has been applied to pin number 3 of the op-amp, and Also, as well as it is connected to, input is connected to channel 1 of CRO, this digital oscilloscope. Well, we need a regulated op-amp power supply to power the op-amp, as we power the op-amp needs two power supplies, like plus 12 volts and minus 12 volts, and 0 will go to the ground. And this is nothing but a DSO to display the input-output waveforms. So it's a display device, and input device is nothing but our function generator. So we have already applied input voltage here. For 100 Hertz, you can observe here output waveforms on the CRO. You can clearly visualize the waveforms we are getting here. We have got this yellow color waveform is nothing but an input waveform, and blue color, the one which is in blue color, is nothing but our output waveform. So for 100 Hertz now, for 100 Hertz we are getting 4 volts. You can measure here vertically we are getting 4 volts. So like this you need to vary the frequency from 100 Hertz to 1 megahertz. We are going to vary the frequency and note down the corresponding output voltage, that is amplitude of the output voltage. We need to note down at each step. And 4 volts, output voltage 4 volts. Then find out the gain in dB. Similarly, we are going to vary the frequency. So further, when you vary the frequency, we have got output voltage as 4 volts. Then find out gain in dB. Similarly, when you vary the frequency 100 Hertz up to 500 Hertz, we have got gain as constant. And then at 1000, that is at 1 kilohertz, you can observe there is the output voltage as reduced. We have got 3.76. So once it reaches the cutoff frequency, that is 2K is nothing but our cutoff frequency, the gain has started to reduce here. At this point, even gain is reducing, you can see. And even we have noted down at 500K, we have got minus, here it is 80 millivolt. Then convert it into dB means it is minus 27.95 dB. So like this you can move on up to 1 megahertz. So finally we'll find the voltage will output voltage will reach 0. It will become 0. Okay, so that means low pass filter, it is allowing frequencies from 0 to that upper cutoff frequency, and after once cutoff frequency, it reaches cutoff frequency means our gain will reduce at a rate of 20 dB per decade. So, and then finally you are going to plot this, whatever the values you have got, this gain readings, and yeah, we are going to plot like this frequency response we have here by taking a frequency along x-axis and gain along y-axis. When you plot the readings, then we'll get like this kind of response. So you're going to plot the graph on a Semilog graph sheet. Okay, so we need to plot it on a Semilog graph sheet. So that is about that's all about low pass filter. Next we'll move on to the high pass filter.